Influence, the process of producing effects on the actions, opinions, or behavior on others. What's up, Army? This is Bring the Soul.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Army! What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning into the Bring the Soul After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. We are stoked, so stoked to be back. I'm Veronica Valencia, just a little mochi over here. And joining me today is my awesome co-host, Ollie Drennan, who, guys, if you don't know, is one step closer to being a Kpop idol.
Right. I think truth is I'm actually going to move to South Korea and become a Kpop idol. That's hence the hair.
Hence the hair, exactly. Yeah. For those of you listening on iTunes, Ollie has lavender hair.
Yeah. It feels good to finally follow my dreams of becoming a K-pop star.
I fully support you.
But I love you, AfterBuzz.
Coming up later in the episode, we're talking, obviously, episode 4, Influence. We're going to be talking all about our fearless leader, RM. We're also going to be talking stage names as well as the overall influence BTS has in music, in the music industry. But before we get into any of that, Ollie, what were your overall thoughts on this episode as well as the theme of influence?
It speaks very highly of the times of how we're so into influencers on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, come on, BTS, probably, honestly, I think I can think of probably one of the biggest influencers groups, each one of them, and how each one of them kind of obviously there's all different fans, but I feel like each one has a different, a different influence on people because they're all different. And so that creates, it's just crazy to kind of think about the chain reaction of influences and how they could post something as simple as a selfie of them, but yet that will influence their fans. And so it just kind of is really crazy about how much power that they don't even realize that they have as K-pop idols.
Yeah, I actually love that you brought that up, Ollie, because that's kind of not how I was thinking, but that's great because there's always so many different opinions and things that you pull from these episodes. But, I also really loved this episode, and I agree that, we live in an age of influencers, and there are so many people that kind of maybe don't fully grasp just how much effect they have on, the people who follow them. And I think that speaks a lot for BTS, especially because, they're an international group. So that's even, bigger, the fact that, they just don't have influence amongst people from the place they're from. They have influence with many people overseas.
Right.
That's amazing.
Everyone's watching. We're all watching.
Everyone's watching. It's just a little bit pressure,
Isn't
but
it so
it's okay.
exciting? It's exciting, but kind of scary at the same time.
Oh, yeah. But I love it. Let's kind of get into talking about our fearless leader, RM, and just, his UN speech. I know it wasn't about the UN speech, but we kind of opened and ended on that. And I just, giving my quick 2 cents, a lot of ARMY have already seen that. It's a beautiful speech. So well spoken, too. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
That's why he's our leader.
That is why he is our leader. That is why he is our future president.
2020 RM.
as Marie put in the chat, President Namjoon.
I mean, hello. Come on. Why wouldn't you not vote for him?
I'd vote for him in a heartbeat. But I just, I love how it's a lot of pressure to kind of be.
I'm sorry. He just looks so good.
He does. Right? They all look so clean and classy when they were there. But, it's just with him, it's so much pressure to kind of essentially be the face of this group. And I feel like even Jimin and J-Hope said it in this episode. What would we do if RM couldn't speak English? And I feel like that's just a lot that he has to think about because, he's the one translating. He's the one essentially speaking for them. Well, not speaking for them, but he's helping people understand what they're saying, translating for them in these interviews.
Yeah, for the overseas people like us who, we'll read subtitles. Hello, that's how we're watching
we're used to reading subtitles.
But it's just crazy for him. It's a lot of pressure, but also I'm sure it must feel good at the same time to be able to connect with not only the Korean fan base, but also the connect on another level of English speaking fans as well, because it's oh wow, it's just it's very powerful being bilingual or trilingual. How many ever languages you speak, there's so much power into having that, despite the the amount of pressure.
I love the fact that you brought up speaking multiple languages because it just kind of reminded me of how I think trainees are required to know like 3 or 4 languages.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Or even just to be able to have like not be like completely well versed in like another language, but be able to just speak kind of like a small sentence or something like that. But yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Some
crazy to
yeah,
me.
there are some idols out there that have like 5 languages, like Mandarin. I'm crazy. It's insane. Like languages are hard.
Languages are really
I was talking
hard.
to someone earlier today. I can't even speak English, so it's just like I have so much respect for people who are bilingual, trilingual, whatnot. It's so great to be able to speak languages because, like, you know, like language. It's crazy
It's
to
hard.
think like we don't even speak Korean, but we love K-pop, and yeah.
It's a universal language
Yeah.
music.
It really is. Oh, I love it.
I also like how this episode we kind of got to see RM's workflow and how he prefers to work at night, which makes so much sense if you think about it. You're not distracted. Like the person was saying, there's no emails, there's no phone calls. You just get to really focus and do what you need to do.
Right, because yeah, like you said, you're not being bothered. There's something about it just being kind of like there's a good thing about kind of being that night owl persona, like go into your creative space where, yeah, I mean, you'll still get text messages and whatnot, but you feel kind of safe almost at nighttime in a sense, whereas like you just have so much more pressure during the day, and because no one's going to bother you. So it makes sense as to why he would want to be creative and kind of work at night alone, or
Collaborating.
Yeah.
He's great. Let's kind of talk about stage names, which when this got brought up on the episode, I was very happy about this, just because my initial thought was stage names are kind of scary in the sense that I thought about this way. If I was an artist and I had to choose a stage name, but I was, like 16 or 15 or however old, Jungkook was when he was a trainee, choose something from when I was a kid and it has to represent me throughout my adult life.
Like 10 years later.
Like 10 years later. It's like me choosing my first MySpace name or my first YouTube name.
Right.
And I'm
so
like,
you have to be smart.
You have to be smart about what you want it to be. And
not Lollipop Girl 626.
Was that you?
No. Shh, don't tell anyone. Yeah, but no, I love that you bring that up because it's so true. We think about our MySpaces, our Zyngas, or even, well, not our Facebooks, but our YouTubes. Our YouTubes, our Neopets. Like, it's so freaking, even our Instagram still. Like,
yeah.
So I love that you kind of have to encompass, like, it's smart to encompass something that really is the essence of you, and that might take time, but yeah, I think also maybe kind of draw upon, for future trainees out there, maybe draw upon something that you want to become, if that makes sense, because I think a lot of people kind of like become like Ollie Dreamer. Like, I feel like I'm such an introvert, honestly, but I want to I always wanted to become an extrovert, and I think maybe trainees kind of want to do that to be able to perform. And so I think maybe kind of have a name that says a lot about who you want to become.
No, exactly.
In a nutshell.
Exactly. It's so hard when you're so young to kind of choose something that you're going to be okay with and stick with the rest of your music career. We already had kind of saw it with RM. He started out as Rap Monster, but now he's like, now I'll go by RM.
Yeah.
So we've already kind of see how sometimes choosing a stage name can be tricky. And I thought it was interesting how Jimin was like, he didn't want to go by his real name originally, but I'm like, oh, but you're always going to be Jimin. And I loved to see how at least J-Hope he came to accept it and realize, oh, this is fitting for me. Mm-hmm. And he is our hope. He is our sunshine.
It's like, it's weird. You can't even think of them having other names, but it's a different perspective for them, but we're just like, no, like J-Hope, still Rap Monster, but RM. It's like they grew up. Like, sometimes your names will like evolve, and I think that's like,
and that's kind of what happened.
You grow up, you literally grow up in, as an idol, you grow up, and we watch you grow up, and so it makes sense to kind of like, oh yeah, your name's changing, and so you're changing, your body's changing. Like, it's it's getting hot in here.
I also kind of want to talk about the masks that we saw, or that was kind of brought up in this episode. So kind of going along stage names. Granted, the stage names are them. It's not like they're hiding behind their stage name or anything. But, you know, Jungkook and Jimin kind of mentioned, or at least Jungkook specifically was saying, you know, he's a different person from in real life from when he's on stage. And Jimin kind of said there's a difference between on stage and off stage as well. So I don't know, Ollie, I kind of wanted to get your opinion on like these masks, because I feel like these guys have cameras on them 24/7. And as much as we have really gotten to see their true, genuine selves, you can't help but know when the camera's on you, you're on immediately. Like, however, you might be being yourself, but you're still thinking, you know?
Right.
And so it makes sense that, you know, there's two types of people, like when you're performing and when your cameras are off, kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like, I kind of brought it up, I touched on it earlier about kind of like, not saying that they're completely introverts, but like sometimes you just want to be able to portray that extrovert, that archetype, the sexy archetype, or just the badass archetype. And even though that's not necessarily you off stage, you know, there's like idols. One of my favorite idols, Hyuna, she is like known for being so sexy. She's the sexy archetype girl, and she's so popular with the fanboys and whatnot from not 21. She's from For a Minute, but she became a solo artist. But long story short, like, she's not sexy at all. Like, that's just her character. So it makes sense that these idols are doing that, and they're doing it flawlessly. So, but yeah, it is kind of hard because you don't want fans to like think that their stage, who they are on stage, is who they are off stage as well. Because it's like you're performing at the end of the day.
Yeah. And now let's kind of get into some of their influence. So, you know, at first, Suga is basically, I was going to say Shugi. I was combining Suga and Yoongi. You know, he's basically talking about, like, he doesn't think that they're as influential as people think because, like, they're not giving to causes, if I read that correctly. So, but I think there's all ways to be influential. Obviously, there's kind of the very known way, which is like, you're influential, you're giving to the cause, kind of as Suga said. But there's also influence in that, me simply saying, hey, Ollie, I really think you would like this K-pop band because you like K-pop. They're called BTS. Like, even that kind of exchange and changing your mind on how you view K-pop or how you view a certain band is influence.
Yeah, like, I think it's powerful what they have because even though they might not be giving a cause, that doesn't mean like in the future that they can't not give to a cause or have like fundraisers or charities and whatnot, more philanthropy work. However, like they have to also keep in mind Shuga, but like there's so many fans out there that need to hear their music, or maybe their music has saved their lives. And to me, that's extremely powerful. And we're not aware of those stories, but like I'm pitching it now. BTS fan documentary. Like, let's hear some of the fan stories. I want to be a part of it. Right? But like you never know what fans are going through, right?
Yeah,
Thank you, studio audience.
We're full of
like,
ideas
can you
here.
imagine like all of those maybe someone who's feeling lonely, but yet they have BTS to listen to, and that's so influential. That's maybe keeping them alive, you know? So who knows?
Can I tell you, and I like something that came across my mind when I was watching this episode? I feel like it's sometimes hard for all these members in different ways to feel like they have an influence in different ways. Like for some of the members, it might be they feel they aren't influential towards their fans. But when I was watching this episode specifically, I was thinking of Taehyung and thinking like, oh, I wonder if, you know, it's kind of hard for him to feel like he's an influence because they're all very close to their families. But Taehyung specifically has younger siblings, and there's like one of his songs, Stigma, has always been speculated that's about them. And so I kind of had this thought of, I wonder if he feels sad, like he's not being a good influence, like because he's absent in his younger siblings' upbringing, especially because he never planned to be a K-pop idol.
Right.
He never planned to audition for Big Hit. It just kind of fell into his lap, and now this is his life. So I was like, this was another kind of instance where I'm like, there's different kinds of influence. Maybe he felt like he wasn't being a good role model, a good influence for his younger siblings. I don't know if that's true. That's just kind of something that came to mind.
That's a really good point, because there is that level of maybe not feeling completely guilty, but there's a guilt level there of not being there for your family, especially them growing up. And, you know, you want to be a good influence for your fans, but obviously your family, if you're close to your family.
They all are too, yeah.
Yeah, so that is kind of sad that you bring that up. But yeah, I feel like despite what he thinks, like I feel like the family
they're
probably...
so proud of him.
Right.
They have to be.
But it's like, oh, I'm away from home, so I get that he feels that way, but he shouldn't. It's just like we're our own worst enemies in how we like. We're just afraid of like influencing wrong, regardless of where we stand, and so it's so hard, know.
And there's even a moment where Jin is talking about how when they're overseas, they have so many achievements and they have to live up to them, and I'm just like, I feel like that's hard. Just the idea of, oh, I need to live up to all of these expectations and, kind of have this influence. But I think they just do a good job of doing what they do best, which is performing.
Right. And I feel like if you just continue performing and not worrying about what the next step is, or like besting what you've already done, like over like doing something even better than what you have already done, it's just going to come natural as long as you just keep doing what you're doing and not worrying about having to just keep on doing something like better, like another achievement, another championship, whatever, just keep. True artists, have many faces, but at the same time, they are who they are because of they're just performing and they're entertaining and they're not focusing on what the next step is.
Exactly. I want to give a quick shout out to everyone in our chat. Thank you so much for joining us. If in case you didn't know, we are live on YouTube currently. You can join our chat, but you can always watch us later. Leave us a comment, like and subscribe this video. Give us a thumbs up. Give us 5 stars on iTunes because 1 through 4 don't work. But a quick shout out to Marie, Lauren, and Jorge in our chat. I want to say, give a shout out to Marie specifically, who was saying they do give to charities, but they do it in secret. And I do recall, like, Yoongi specifically gave, I think, meat to schools, which I think was, or like on their birthdays, instead of them getting gifts, they give gifts to people or to each other. Right. Kind of thing. So
it's like on Facebook. Let's donate for a good cause.
Donate for a good cause. And then, Marie is saying, Tay is a great influence. He gave us our color purple. I agree. I think they all have done a very good job of, just spreading the message of love and being yourself through their music. And that in itself is very influential.
Hello, love yourself.
Love yourself.
Come on. Hello. It's like very self-explanatory. That's very self-explanatory.
All right. So any other thoughts, Ollie, on this episode?
No, I'm ready for some more fun and games, though.
I am also ready for some more fun and games. But before we get into our special segment of the variety kind, let's get into some news and gossip real quick.
Oh, yes. See, let's do it.
AfterBuzz TV news. No, let me press the, let me make the noise real quick.
This is the news.
Oh, wow.
AfterBuzz TV news.
All right, everyone. So BTS, obviously, we talked about how they have so much influence. ARMY is so huge that they just keep breaking records. So we found out that, where is it? So BTS is now on TikTok, y'all. I'm not on TikTok. I still don't really know what TikTok is, but it's another social platform, basically. Within joining, on the day that they joined, within, what was it? 3.5 hours, they reached 1 million followers.
ARMY's huge.
ARMY is huge. I think don't quote me on this right now, but a while ago I looked, and I think BTS had more Twitter followers than Beyonce.
Damn.
Which, Beyonce is the queen of American music.
World?
Of the world. Of American music, but also the world. So that was also kind of crazy to see.
Damn. Maybe we should get TikTok.
Maybe we should get TikTok. I want to see what they're posting on there.
Yeah, I feel like we're missing out.
But yeah, we all know that ARMY is huge, and we give our support, and we're so excited to anything that they give us. So of course we're going to consume it like crazy. Just some other quick little records they have. They currently hold the most viewed YouTube video in 24 hours with 74.6 million views in the first 24 hours.
Is this Boy with Love with Halsey?
With Halsey. Crazy, guys, just crazy. But I don't expect anything less at this point.
Well, this is perfect news for influence.
For
right?
the influence that they have.
It's so good. So well timed.
So well timed. But now let's kind of move on to the fun variety. I lost it. Let's go on to our special segment. So we are a show of variety, and we want to play our own version of Run BTS. We call it Run ABTV. What's the theme of today? The boys say to the director, we are playing Guess That BTS Song. Hey, Ryan.
Guess that song.
Guess that song. Everyone, Ryan, our producer, engineer in the booth.
Hello, hello.
All right, who wants to go first? I can go first.
Okay.
So we will play Ollie's
Picks
song.
for me. We upped it, and we did 3 songs instead of 2 from last time because we really enjoyed doing this.
3.
Yes.
The first one, right
Yes.
now. Ooh.
Seesaw. It's Seesaw. It's gotta be Seesaw. Final answer, Seesaw.
Ollie?
No.
No. I was so certain.
Ryan, please tell her what it is.
Oh my gosh.
Her. Tell her
It's her.
what
Tell
it is.
her?
It's her.
Oh
her.
my! That so sounded like a part of Seesaw. I thought
It was a good guess, though.
Yeah.
Very good guess. I love how confident you are because.
Thank you.
But it was a good guess. Like your confidence was
Thank you.
not in vain.
She did get it wrong.
I did get it wrong.
It's time for me to get it wrong.
All right, let's go to Ollie
right?
next.
Sure.
All right.
We can go back and forth.
What
We'll
if
go
it's
back
the
and forth.
same songs?
Here
I
we
just
go.
realized that. Okay. Oh my god. Do you
I
remember?
had to think about it for a moment. I do know it.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know it. One more time.
It's a good one.
Oh my god,
One
this
more
is a
time?
good one. Is this like the end of the song?
No, it's literally the middle of a song.
It sounds like the end of the song. Oh my gosh. Oh god.
I can give you a hint of the singer
Ooh.
if you want that.
Okay.
It's Jin. It's Jin's voice.
I'm like so baffled. I don't even know. What if I don't guess? Chat, help me out.
Go to your chat.
I don't even know. Chat, anything?
Let's go.
Blood, sweat, tears?
Is that your answer?
Is that yes? But I don't take credit for it.
Brian,
it?
is he right?
Is he right?
He is right.
He is correct.
It was
Shout
blood,
out-
blood,
shout out-
sweat. Shout out to Marie in the chat
Yes.
for guessing blood, sweat, and tears.
If you're in the
Ollie gives you
chat,
full credit.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. I can't take credit for that. You're also playing along with me because I know I'm going to get all these wrong.
I feel like I'm getting these wrong too after Seesaw, after what I
Back
thought was
to-
Seesaw.
Veronica.
Yes, it's
Okay.
your turn.
Is it Euphoria?
Ding,
Is
ding,
it-
ding, ding,
yes,
ding.
Good job. I
Correct.
wanted to do that one so bad because it's
Yeah.
my favorite BTS song
Yeah.
ever. But like that's such an easy one. But I was
Yeah.
like, I have to get like a tiny
I
little.
just
clip.
you kind of just choose the ones that you like, yeah.
And
Right.
now Ollie.
Oh no. Do it again. That's not fake love, is it?
No, it's not fake.
No. Okay. Oh my god. Damn it. Chat. What is it? Did they say anything?
No, nothing so far from the
Okay.
chat.
What is it?
Magic shot.
Oh man. Gosh.
Alrighty.
Oh,
Back to
too
Veronica.
much pressure.
There's a lot of pressure. Ooh, that was a longer clip.
Oh, you know this one.
DNA, right?
Is that your final answer?
It's my final answer. Right?
Ding 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 ding. Yeah, good job.
Oh, I would be so sad if I
2
got
out
that
of
wrong.
3. Wait,
Ain't
you got
bad.
2 out of 3, right?
2 out of 3.
Good job.
Final one.
Final one for Ollie. This one's gonna be so funny, Ollie.
This is gonna be funny.
Euphoria?
Yeah.
Yay! Yay! I got one.
We both chose
Euphoria.
Euphoria. 'Cause
Good job. 2
it's-
completely different parts of the song.
It's 2 completely different parts of the song, but such a good song.
That was a good clip to pull too.
As soon as you played Euphoria, I was laughing because I was like, I also chose
See,
Euphoria.
I was like, oh, we're gonna change this. We're bound to.
We're bound
overlap.
to cross paths, yeah.
I love it. That was fun.
Thank you, everyone, so much for watching us try and guess BTS songs.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything. Just a quick shout out again to everyone in our live chat. Thank you for joining us. Ollie, where can ARMY find you on social media?
Yes, you can find me and my lavender purple hair at olliedreamer on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm Veronica Valencia. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at it's me, Veronica_V. To BTS and ARMY, we purple you. Bye, guys.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.